Hello, everybody. I don't know if anybody will even come to this, but I wanted to do a live video for a few reasons. First, because for those of you who follow A Catholic Mom's Life, we were supposed to do a live interview type video on her channel this morning, and we were having some technical issues. So she ended up, hey, hi, Catholic Gamer. Yeah, more first lives. You should do one too. I don't know if that works as you game. It may be a lot to do a live video all at once, but it could be cool. So I thought that I would do one too. I was inspired by Heather and sad that we missed our thing this morning, but maybe a different day we can make it work. And let's see, what else? Oh, but I also wanted to see if it was possible, and I'm so happy. Thank you, Panda Fam. I'm so happy that you guys are commenting because now I know that I can do them because I wasn't sure if our technical issues were a result of my poor internet connection or if it just happens. I know sometimes it happens. Hi, in school, but can't wait to rewatch this after. Hi, Giselle. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, so this is fun. And actually, years ago, right before, let's see, I was either dating or engaged to, or both, my husband. And I used to do Periscopes. If you know what that is, it's basically the same thing as a live stream. I used to do them every day and sometimes multiple times a day. And I did like live rosaries and things that everybody's doing on Instagram now. But I got married, got busy, had kids, the whole thing, and stopped doing Periscopes. But now I'm excited because I love this. Let's see. That was the direction I plan on going. It's really not bad once you get used to it because, well, my story of live videos, I'll never forget it. It's amazing how technology, we take it for granted sometimes later on, but I was like laying down at night and like people kept talking about Periscope and I had watched them a few times and I was like sitting there on my phone and I came across this video where this guy was playing Legos. Like he was a grown man, but he was building these like really cool Lego things. It was like totally wholesome, but he was like doing these Legos. And he was talking to all the people who were commenting, and I couldn't believe it was truly in real time. You know, I thought, well, surely there's some sort of delay here. And so I was like really nervous, but then I was like, hello on my chat, and right away he was like, hey there, Kenzie, and I couldn't believe it was genuinely a real thing. And so it was intriguing, but yeah, I was super scared thinking about doing my own at the time, and I thought, like, how could I do it live? What if I like mess up or something? But I just slowly started doing it, and I got so used to doing them all of the time. And so I don't know if any of you remember me from on there. I had a totally different name. I can't even remember what it was, but those were the good days. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Nuria. That's a pretty name. Cool. I know, Legos are fun. I never was like a huge Lego person when I was little, but I loved going in Disney, how they have the Lego store in like Disney World, and just the amazing creations that people can make are just incredible. They're so much fun. Well, I love things that are toys where you can do so many different things with them. Like it's not just one use. You can kind of take it as far and grand as you like. So that's what's cool about Legos. Let's see, I took notes. Oh, I wanted to say, so for Lent, I am so far behind on posting my videos. I have been doing them and recording them, but I haven't uploaded them. So I am doing it. A few people asked this past weekend, but like a little bit into last week, some of my kids were sick, just nothing major, just cold, but you know how that is with two babies who have coughs and stuff. I wanted to be very attentive to them and their needs. So even though I did have time to film and stuff and read, which reading, even that takes a lot of time, I just wasn't able to get them up. So I have quite a bit of editing to do for those and some other videos I want to do, but so bear with me. I'm sorry that I'm missing for those of you who are following along. And I still have to get up my calendar. So I made a little calendar of the like journal entries, and it's like a total mess as I've crossed it off. So I wanted to type it up neatly so for the people who are following along. Legos are a big yes for your kids. Who's younger? Architect collection. Oh, that's cool. Oh, those are the really fancy ones. Those are cool. It is hard. Panda fan. You seem so familiar. I'm going to have to check out your channel after this. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Legos are a lot of fun and cool. It'll be fun as my boys get a little bit older to appreciate them, because they're so little now. They would just eat them if I gave them to them. Behind in your Lent stuff. I think it's supposed to be a struggle though. Good point. It is, and that's what I was noticing, because the whole thing about even starting YouTube, it was for Lent last year was really why I started it, and trying to be consistent, and boom, right away I got super sick last year and lost my voice. And I don't even think I was all that like ill, but I couldn't talk and I didn't feel good for a couple days. I was also pregnant and stuff at the time, but man, it does feel like spiritual warfare sometimes. You can still upload them after to make the playlist. Yes, good idea. Now, Jammy, do you pronounce it Jammy or Jammy? Okay, so if it's Jammy, say number 1. If it's Jammy, say number 2. If it's something else, tell me and I'll try to pronounce it. Because I always see you. I love your comments. They make me very happy. But you're right. I will upload them after. I did that the other day last week where I uploaded a bunch all in one day. And so it's a little delayed, but it gives you guys time to catch up on the readings, because I'm finding that even just these bits that I broke it down into, it's hard to, oh, my son's hanging out right here. It's hard to find the time to read with the little boys and then, think about it and all the stuff. So trying my best to get through, but my plan though is so as I was reading it, I thought, oh, this is perfect. So I planned it out. I don't know where my April calendar is, but I wanted to, so the idea is that the book will actually be finished, I think by, Monday of Holy Week, or maybe Palm Sunday? I'll have to double check, but I wanted to make time for like a little recap of the whole thing and thoughts, but then also leave time so that people can do the novena, and then maybe even do the Chaplet of Divine Mercy together now on a live stream, now that I know they work. Hi, happy Lent. Happy Lent to you too, Julius. Hame. Oh! Sorry, my son's going crazy. Hame. Like that? Hame? Hame. I like that. Hama. Hame. That's cool. I like that. Okay, so it's the Spanish version. What book? It is the Diary of Saint Faustina. So I don't know if you can see in the quality here. If you've seen this picture, where is it actually? I think there's one. There's a picture of Jesus that I'm sure here it is. I'm sure you've seen this before, where there's like a red and then kind of a whitish light blue ray that come from his hands. And then at the bottom it says, Jesus, I trust in you. And that was Saint Faustina, who had this vision to paint this picture. And she wrote a journal. It's pretty thick, but I've been reading through it every day for Lent. You're welcome. No E in the end. I know, I'm totally not a Spanish speaker, and I took French in school. So do you journal as you read? Do you find it helpful? Yeah, for this, I've been mostly just highlighting, and then sometimes I'll start. Okay. His new thing is to like make this sound, and he always does it when, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So maybe he just wants to be held. The new thing, Hammy. Let's see. Hame. Aw, Mario. Hi, honey. I don't know how to explain it in any way. It's okay. I will work on this. Maybe I'll like try to find a pronunciation online. What's your favorite prayer book? My mom has that book in Spanish. It is intimidating, and that's why I wanted to challenge myself by, let's see if I can set him up. Hang on, guys. I'm so sorry. Gonna play? There you go. Whoa. He's still learning how to come back, buddy. Okay. Whoa. He's still learning how to sit up, so I like to prop a lot of blankets and things. That way, if he does fall back, he's okay. All right, intimidating. Yeah, so did I. So that's why it was my goal for Lent, because this is one of those books everybody talks about and refers to. Actually, I have another book. Oh, right here. So these two are pretty cool. So this one's called Divine Mercy for Moms. I have yet to read it, but the two authors, Michelle Fanley and Emily Jaminet, I heard them speak 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a few weeks ago anyway. God bless you. Oh, God bless you. And they are so cool. I just love their authenticity. They're just such genuine women. And so they have this book. They're writing another one about St. Faustina. And then they also have this one called The Friendship Project. So I haven't read these. That's why I haven't shared them on my channel. How are we on this topic? Oh, because everybody talks about divine mercy. And I felt like I love the Chaplet of Divine Mercy. That's really how it all began. And so I thought I should read it too and really make an effort to. So that's what kind of came to my mind for Lent. So that's why I broke it up into little bits and pieces, and that made it a lot less intimidating. So that's what I'd recommend. What were we saying? Oh, about journaling during, forget where it was. There was a question about journaling. I do, with this, I've just been highlighting and underlining, so to kind of speed up my videos. So like I'll read it, and then if there's something I think, oh, that's what I want to address in a video, I'll highlight. And so then when I go to film, I just can easily see what I highlighted. What are you doing? And then that speeds that up. But normally it depends on the book. It really does. But I do find that if I highlight or underline, I retain the information better. And then also if I do go back to the book, it helps me remember what I liked about it. Hami, cool pronunciation. Hame. I'm so sorry. I wish I could pronounce it better. If I knew, I probably could. Let's see. Favorite prayer book. Prayer book. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have prayer books. Like I have some, not Jesus Calling, but similar to that. Oh, I love Magnificat. I don't have a subscription currently, but I used to every single day. I think there's 3 times a day where there's kind of the 3 prayers, but I would read it and deeply ponder everything. And my spiritual growth and just love of Christ was so amazing at that time. So eventually I'm going to get that again, but I didn't order it because I don't know if I'd really be reading it, and I don't want to waste a subscription. Let's see. Obviously the Bible, if that, I guess that's, of course that's a prayer book. My mom has this, oh yeah, you said that. Do I wear a veil to mass? No. 1 second. Hey, buddy. I wonder if there's a toy. Maybe he wants this. Want a toy? I do not veil. Now, this is interesting. So I grew up and never saw anybody ever veil. Like, I don't even recall people veiling. And then I went to a different church about in high school, and there were a few people here and there that I would see veil. And I didn't really know why they were doing that. I just thought, okay, I don't know. Maybe they're not Catholic and they're here. That's what I thought. And then after being on YouTube and seeing some people's videos and reading up on veiling, I mean, I didn't even think about it, and just how the whole concept of how things that are sacred we usually cover up, and so it makes sense to veil. And so it is intriguing to me. I'm interested in it, and I want to read more about it, pray more about it. At this moment, I guess to me, the reason I don't right now is mostly because I feel like it would distract me from Mass, because all I would be thinking about the whole time is the veil, and like, are people going to ask me about it? And when I do it, I want to have the peace with it and not feel like I'm so obsessed with thinking about the veil or thinking what people are going to think of the veil or what the whole thing. So that's why I don't, but I am very interested in it. And I think it's a beautiful thing for those who feel called to doing that and stuff. Prayers for, oh, wow. I am so sorry to hear that. I will be praying for you. And now that I'm thinking of it, you may not be Julius, you may be Julius. If you're Spanish, which one is it? And so I can make sure I have it right, but I will absolutely pray for you. That is very scary. We'll all be praying for you, definitely. Keep us updated how you're doing, and if you need further prayers. Hey, buddy. If you need further prayers as time goes on. And for peace for you, just in general. Any health issues can be so, they just wear you down, you know? God bless you. Thank you. Hi, it's Sky. Hello. Great idea. Don't say wow. Let's see. Trying to catch up on all of these. Love the book so far. Oh, I'm glad you do. So do I. I'm pleasantly surprised. I figured it'd be really good, but I just, it's just one of those things I hadn't gotten to reading. Another one that I want to read, and I haven't watched the video yet, but What Laura Likes, I think that was what she was talking about, but it is Story of a Soul by Thérèse of Lisieux. Lisieux, I don't know. French people out there, I'm sorry. And of course, I named my child Lumiere, of all things, and I'm not the best at pronouncing anything, but still not Catholic. Oh, yes. Everybody continue to pray for Hami, and all people who are not Catholic but interested or learning about the faith. That's something that, especially through YouTube, I didn't realize how many people on YouTube are converts, and so it has a special place in my heart because I don't know, maybe because my mom's a convert, but also just because of I think it's so beautiful that people are actually trying to seek the truth and not just blindly following what they were raised with. And, somebody has a good quote, but something about how even people who were born and raised Catholic, they always end up having some sort of reversion of some sort, because you get to that point where you question and you seek for the truth and actively decide for yourself. I'd love to veil in the future. I know, it is so beautiful. Midnight here. Oh, wow. Aw. Thanks, Sky. Well, I hope you have sweet dreams when you go to sleep. Mommy Yan with love. Veil, your mom. That is really special. I think it's so beautiful when parents and their children and grandchildren all veil, and it's this beautiful thing among them. Especially if you can make your own veil, that's very cool. Can you twerk? I don't know. I don't think I've tried that. Oh, that's okay. Hi. They always come back. It's the quote. Yes, that is very true. Usually people come back, and that's the beautiful thing about our faith is that, and that's so cool about being a parent is, and well, maybe important is a better word, so I'm trying to give my son a toy. There you go. Hi. That as long as we provide that solid foundation for our children and teach them the truth, even though realistically they may go astray, they will know the truth and be able to come back to it, or they will at least be able to understand the Catholic faith, whether or not they agree. Maybe if they're out there and people are talking and saying things that are false about it, they can at least stick up for it. So that's why it's important. Don't worry, you're on time. Yeah, so let's see, what else? Talked about Lent, talked about Divine Mercy. Suggest lives. What does that mean? Why did I write that down? Oh, because I was going to say, somebody had suggested I do live videos to catch up on Vlent. And that's part of why I'm doing this, because I wanted to test it out and see how it goes. So far, it seems like everything's going well with the connection and stuff. So this could be a fun option, and I am enjoying this. So yeah, and then if you haven't, will you talk about your book? Sure. Right now, do you want me to? I guess I can. So yeah, I wrote a book. I actually wrote 2, and then I'm finishing up a 3rd really awesome one. I actually have the draft finished, and I just need, it's kind of in the editing phase. So let's see, we'll start with, okay, so this is my book, Prepare. I had these out because we were going to talk about it with a Catholic mom's life today. It was so thoughtful of her to think of, you know, stuff that applied to me, and I just love her. Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me adjust my son. Oh, okay. Here you go, bud. There we go. Okay. All right. So it's called Prepare. Now, all right. So it's about the time of singleness before marriage from a Catholic perspective. So it covers things like birth control, contraceptives, living together, and whether or not that's a good idea, and basically my thought process and experiences with these different subjects. And so, I wrote a little note to my husband in this one, I just noticed. But anyway, so yeah, so it's a really little book. Well, how many pages are there in this? 124 pages, but they're not super, it's not that daunting to read. But let's see, what else? There's just so many things going on in this video. Let's see. Yeah, so it's really cool. The interesting thing about it, well, a few things. So why did I write it? Well, my entire life, I have, since my earliest memories, felt called to marriage and having children. And so, so going through life, you know, of course, in order to, hold on, let me adjust it again. This is why I haven't done live videos yet. Okay, so, but in order to, you know, have to meet someone, get married and everything. And so I was always interested in, you know, different people that I had crushes on and whatnot. And it just never worked out, you know, all through the years. You know, in high school, I thought, oh, I'm going to have like a high school boyfriend and stuff. Never, did not happen. And I'm so glad that it didn't happen in hindsight. But at the time, I was very, very deeply sad daily. Like 24/7, I was very sad about this. And so then I thought, well, you know, it'll happen in college. I'm still young. And so college came and it didn't happen. And throughout college, you know, I met some people who weren't the greatest to be around. And but I never had like an official boyfriend until my husband. Because a lot of the people that I encountered through, especially the college age, they were not interested in making things, hey buddy, making things official. And, you know, they wanted to basically use me. I mean, they didn't say that. And I did meet a lot of really awesome guys, but that's kind of what I realized our culture was like. You know, people just want the benefits, not just saying physical intimacy, but they want the emotional benefits of having a companion, but they're so afraid of commitment. Come back here. He wanted to go grab a plastic bag on the floor, so didn't want him to do that. So they're afraid of commitment, and with all of that happening, I was extremely sad because I thought, how is this? How is this possible? Why are people treating people like this? And even from friends and people that I know, you know, seeing them constantly in pain, relationship after relationship. So anyway, I just had it on my heart that I had such a hard time when I was single. Finally, eventually, I met my husband. And the thing that I realized when I met him and things ended up working was I went through several years where not one person was interested in me. Like, you know, people were always nice to me and stuff, but no guys that I started talking to were seriously, genuinely interested in having a relationship with me. And I didn't really understand why that was happening. I thought maybe something was wrong with me, you know? And then eventually I realized that I couldn't just sit and wait for some person to fall out of the sky. I had to actively grow in my own person and grow in my relationship with Christ. And so I tried to go through the qualities that I had that were not the greatest, anxieties that I had, times where I was self-conscious, stuff like that. And I tried to attack those things that were holding me back. And once I did that, and right before I ended up dating my husband, I just happened to have like all kinds of guys who were genuinely interested in me, and they were good people. So hold on, set it down. So it was amazing, because that's when I realized that the key to all this stuff being single is to grow in your relationship with Christ and not be obsessed with pleasing other people or the other stuff that comes to our mind. So anyway, with all of that, and the deep longing that I had for a spouse, and then also meeting my husband, who in just every detail was so perfectly suited for me, I thought, I have to write a book about this, because I don't want to forget. I didn't want to forget the deep longing that I had in my heart. The fact that, sorry about this, the fact that that I struggled so much with being single, but then God answered my prayer in such an amazing way. Like, he didn't just give me somebody, didn't even just give me some nice guy, but he gave me somebody who, to every detail, is just, it's incredible how perfect he is for me. And so, everything's gone so well. We have beautiful children, and he's just so constantly loving and an amazing person that I'm so grateful to have as my husband. So that's why I really pushed to finish the book right before I got married, because I didn't want to forget the deep pain and longing, because I wanted to be able to share that with people. And yes, Panda Fam, that is so true. To be single is to grow in Christ. And that's why it's called Prepare, because I think a lot of times we think, oh, I want to prepare myself for my future spouse. And we do, but it's also just kind of preparing our, sorry about the little baby. Hey, what? It's also, I know I went a little longer than I thought on this. It's also preparing our hearts for Jesus. So that's the premise of the book. And the reason that the book cover is kind of plain like this, and it's funny, I've been debating changing this cover recently. I got a really, really, really sweet comment from somebody who had purchased the book, and she was saying that she loved and appreciated that I did this. So the whole reason I kept it kind of plain was because a lot of relationship books have like hearts and romance all over them. So if you're out somewhere, it's just kind of like odd to, I don't know, have that, or have something that's like single and lonely, because that's the premise of this. This is for people who are single and lonely and hurting. And so, you don't want to add to the feelings that you have, because it is a sensitive time. It was for me. And I would have felt odd being out and like having hearts and fluffy stuff. So that's why it's kind of a plain cover. What else about it? So I published it a couple years ago before YouTube. So I don't have anything in here about my channel. Which I should actually. Sorry, it's getting crazy in here. This is why I don't normally always do live. Oh, you're okay. By the way, these little toys, they're called squigs. They're really cool because you can stick them on the window, on your head. Then the little babies like to chew on them, so they're kind of cool. And they have different colors and stuff. So that was the premise of Prepare. Can't think of anything else to say about it. Whatever vocation it is, it still works. And I actually have a chapter in here about should I become a nun? And basically that, with that, being somebody who is practicing Catholicism and trying to do the right thing, we can buy, Amazon. Amazon's the best place. But a Catholic mom's like, I'll send you one. And, but let's see. What was I going to say? Prepare, losing my train of thought. Singleness, it's a great subject. I wish I knew. Oh, that's right. So yeah, so when I was single and stuff, people would always be like, oh, you're such a good girl, you'll, find somebody. And then over time, people kept making these comments like, well, you're trying to do the right thing. Maybe you should become a nun. And so I kept thinking, like, really? Am I supposed to become a nun? Because there were so many people who were not seeking a wholesome relationship like I was. And so, so basically, I think what I mentioned in the book is just how, just because you are a good person who's practicing your faith as much as you possibly can, who wants to do the right things in a world where it almost seems like virtually nobody does, sometimes people will encourage you and assume that because of that you should become a priest or religious sister. And while there's nothing wrong with that, we also need holy men and women who are parents. And so that was something that kind of bothered me sometimes because I'm still here. Because, whoa. Okay, I might have to end this soon. Come here. Just because you're seeking good things, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to be part of a religious order. We need lay people who are. Yes, today the culture is so anti-Christian values. Yeah, and that's the thing. It makes it hard. He was supposed to be napping and then woke up. Never vocation. Hi everyone. Oh, hello. Yeah. So that was that. Maybe I'll come back on either today or tomorrow. But I have another one called Rebuilding Rose Park. It's a children's book. This is actually, I realized I don't even have a copy of my final one, which is a lot smaller than this because I had to reformat it. But let's see, this one, it's not a faith-based book, but it goes through the elements and principles of design, and it rhymes, and it's geared toward children, and it was part of a college project that I had, and then my teachers kept saying, you should publish this, so I figured, why not, and published it. And then my third book that people keep asking me when it's going to come, I don't know, because a lot of it depends on time. As you can see, with him and then my other son and then my stepdaughter, it's just, there's a lot of things, and so I don't always have the time to dedicate to just sitting down and cranking out work and stuff, but I did just finish that, and that one is somewhat of a pro-life style book. It's really not meant to have any kind of agenda though, but I basically wanted something that was for children. Yes, for children, to show them the course of human development from conception to the birth of a baby, because it's something that is such a broad topic for children. So it's kind of not dumbed down, it's totally accurate, but something where in words that they can understand a little bit better. And so I just thought, with all this stuff going on right now, well, actually I started writing it a few years ago, but with all this stuff going around right now with the laws and just everything with all of this abortion stuff, I wanted to really push to finish it off, because I know all of us are looking for how we can share our faith with our children on something that really, it's just sad to have to talk about it with our kids. In some ways we have to, but then it's like, how do you explain something like that? So yeah, so I'm excited about that one. And I think we're gonna go because I'm gonna try to get him down for a nap, but let's see. I'm sorry, I'm totally losing my train of thought here, but thank you all for coming on. Thank you to Heather from A Catholic Mom's Life for your incredibly kind words in your video. So if you haven't seen hers, check that out. It was very kind of her. And what else? I guess that's all I have for right now, but I will be catching up on Vlent soon. And I think that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I had a lot of fun reading your comments and everything. And I will be praying for those of you who asked for prayers. And even if you didn't ask for prayers, I'll pray for you also tonight. And, okay, well, goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Okay, it's going to take me a while. I'm going to seem like an older person who doesn't know how to use computers. Mom life really is a full-time job. Yeah, for sure. 24/7. Okay. Bye, everyone. Yeah, he does have a lot to say. Bye, guys. Thank you. God bless you all. End stream. The big red button that I couldn't find until right now. Bye, guys. Oh, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Bye.